Didn't see you there. Hey y'all, and welcome back to Adventures with Ariel. So, being that I haven't put out a video in like a month, I thought we should have a little fun this week. So, I thought, what could be more fun than taking a look back at this 90s gem, Disney Adventures. So I was a regular subscriber from approximately 1997 to around 2004, and I could kick myself now for throwing out all of my magazines years ago. I don't know why I did that, but no worries. I managed to pick this one up from Amazon right here. It's dated July 1992. So I was approximately 1 year old when this came out, so I absolutely have no memory of reading this. But hey, I thought we should cover the magazine's entire lifespan from its first publication in 1990 all the way up to its demise in 2007. And thanks to these internet archives, I have access to years upon years of Disney Adventures magazines. So let's get started. The idea for Disney Adventures was conceived in 1989 when Michael Linton, Director of Business Development for Disney's Consumer Products Division, took note of Topolino, a kids magazine in Italy. Topolino, which means Mickey Mouse in Italian, consisted mostly of comics and was a raging success. Topolino had operated for more than 20 years with a license from Disney. But come 1989, and Disney was publishing Topolino itself, so Linton proposed starting a similar publication in the States, but with fewer comics and more features. At first, this was seen as a way to promote the Disney Channel's afternoon cable TV programming, but the concept quickly broadened to encompass sports, celebrities, and films, even those from other movie studios. This was a similar strategy to those used for the then popular Sports Illustrated for Kids and Nickelodeon magazine. The first issue of Disney Adventures hit mailboxes on October 9th, 1990. With a cover featuring cool nerd Rick Moranis and Tailspins Blue, it would be the first in a long line of magazines featuring a Hollywood celebrity and Disney character on the cover. And to be honest, I think the covers alone are what got most of us to read these in the first place. Seriously, for those of us who were as equally obsessed with Disney movies as we were with pop culture, this was a match made in heaven. And some of these are so 90s it hurts. Whether it be Macaulay Culkin and Ursula, MC Hammer and Darkwing Duck, Michael Jordan and Goofy, or Melissa Joan Hart and Aladdin, the covers alone are sure to trigger an intense dose of nostalgia. We have the top 10 reasons to read this magazine, so let's find out what they are. Free villain cards. I don't think I received those, so whoever sent me this took them out years ago. Shame. We have Dwayne's World, comics and puzzles, free villain cards again, okay, high-tech bikes, sandcastles, camels, I wonder what that could mean, Batman trivia, video game reviews, and free villain card. Gosh, I really wish that this still had the villain cards because they're really emphasizing the villain cards here. I'm like, what am I missing out on here? But not to worry, because along with this ad for Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, I don't know if anyone remembers that film. That's the Honey, I Blew Up sequel that no one remembers. We do indeed have camels in the magazine, and it tells you a lot about camels, a lot of interesting facts. And I love camels, so I can never learn enough about camels. I'm very happy about this. This almost makes up for the lack of villain cards, almost. So every copy of Disney Adventures was about the size of a standard TV guide, if anyone remembers those. It would feature any standard story or article that you would find in, say, Entertainment Weekly, but written in a less formal manner and aimed at kids. The magazine featured a plethora of celebrity interviews, quizzes, movie news, music news, sports news, and educational content that was actually pretty interesting. Disney Adventures taught me about Komodo dragons and how they can smell with their tongues. They taught me that cockroaches have been around since dinosaurs ruled the earth, and that Pokemon have no gender. Flipping through the pages of Disney Adventures is like opening up a time capsule and gives you a fascinating glimpse into what it was like to be a kid at the time. Remember all the hype around One Saturday Morning and the new millennium? Remember when the Game Boy Color was the height of gaming technology? Remember reading about the supposed feud between the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC? Or learning about one-hit boy bands like My Town and Youngstown? I'm noticing a trend here. So one of my favorite parts about the magazine was the calendar. that you would find within the first few pages. This is where you could find very important information, like Drew Barrymore's birthday and helpful tips like when you should bounce into theaters to see the Tigger movie, February 12th. There's also a shout out to the home video release of Tarzan and a note about Justin Timberlake's appearance in the TV movie Cover Girls. Another classic section is of course the Comic Zone. I mean, that's basically the reason this magazine was created in the first place, right? During the early half of the 1990s, the comics were mainly based on those from famous Disney afternoon shows, like here you can see Darkwing Duck. Later on, the Comic Zone would expand its material to featuring excerpts of other independent comic books, such as Bone, The Simpsons, and Little Gloomy. And in 1997, the magazine ran its first original comic, The Adventures of DNA, which opened the way for more original properties in the Comic Zone. Eventually, you could find everything from movie-based comics to television-based comics to original comics like Jetpack Pets and Society of Horrors. Disney Adventures was a hit throughout the 90s, and at its peak reached a circulation of over 1 million subscribers. It was continually published for over 15 years, with some minor tweaks along the way. The iconic logo changed a few times, and the covers began to bear a stronger resemblance to those of Tiger Beat, due to the magazine shifting most of its focus to its then thriving Disney Channel stars and properties. Disney Adventures had a great run, but alas, all good things must come to an end. And on August 21st, 2007, the Walt Disney Company announced that Disney Adventures would be discontinued, with the last issue cover dated November 2007, on the magazine's 17th birthday. So, why was it put to rest? Well, a company spokesperson claimed that the decision was made in order to focus on new magazine and book efforts. And okay, that makes sense. But what's interesting to note is that since then, the company really hasn't put out any new magazines. And truthfully, I think Disney knew that magazines in general were on their way out. Yep, 2007 was also the year we lost Premiere, Life, Jane, Child, and fellow kids magazine Nick Jr. Now, that's not to say that people aren't still reading magazines. They are. I myself still pick up a People at Publix now and then. But I'm willing to bet that children aren't reading them. Being that today's kids have grown up with news and games at their fingertips, Disney Adventures magazine would no longer make sense, at least not in print form. But while Disney Adventures may be long gone, its legacy still remains. It truly was a one-of-a-kind magazine that was jam-packed with everything a kid could ever want. I was proud to be a Disney Adventure subscriber. It made me feel like a magazine reading adult at the young age of 8. And is likely a big reason that I still read physical magazines today, despite the fact that most of them are available online. So let me know in the comment section below if you were a Disney Adventure subscriber, and if there was any particular section in the magazine that stood out to you. I know that there were some I didn't cover in the video, like I always loved the joke section. And I remember several times submitting my jokes to Disney Adventures. It was my dream to have something published in the magazine. And never, not once did any of them make it in, probably because I'm not that funny. Alright y'all, so if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Please give it a huge thumbs up, as well as hit that subscribe button down below for new Disney history every single week. Alright y'all, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a magical day!